The night he walked into your station, rain-soaked and trembling, you expected another drunk, another liar, another sinner looking for absolution. But when he sat down across from you, staring with those hollow eyes, he whispered a confession so detailed, so vivid. You felt the hairs on your arms rise, because the crime he described, the murder he claimed he committed, never happened. So why did he confess? And more importantly, why did it feel like he was telling your story back to you? A storm hits just as you step into the station. Rain slashes across your jacket, and the fluorescent lights flicker, buzzing like they're warning you. You've been here for years, handled every type of confession, every kind of criminal, every late-night story that left you shaking. But tonight, something feels off before you even see him. The dispatcher's voice cracks through the radio. "Detective, you need to see this." He says he killed someone. You pause, finger on the doorknob. Who? No answer. Just static, then a whisper. He doesn't know, but he wants to confess anyway. Your stomach tightens, the kind of tightness you've felt only twice before you found a body you didn't expect, and before a suspect smiled while describing a crime he'd actually committed. This feels like the third kind. You push the door open. The room smells faintly of wet leather and fear. A man sits in interview room 2, hands folded neatly in his lap. He's ordinary, the kind of man who disappears in crowds, who would never make the news. Clean cut, polite.com, but there's something in his eyes. Hala, haunted. He lifts his head when you enter. "Detective," he says quietly, voice steady but hollow. "I came to tell the truth." You sit across from him, instincts screaming, trying to read every line on his face. "Go ahead." "I killed someone," he says. The words are soft, almost casual, but the crime never happened. You blink. The air in the room thickens. The clock ticks. Every instinct you've honed over 12 years whispers that this is not a man who lies. And for the first time in your career, you feel it. Dread. Not for the crime, not for the victim, but for yourself. Because what he just said might pull you into a truth you aren't ready to face. You lean forward. "Explain?" He swallows. "I think I'm confessing to something that belongs to someone else." You watch him carefully. Every subtle twitch of his fingers, every blink, every shallow breath. There's a rhythm to his fear, a cadence you've learned to read over countless interrogations. But this fear isn't the kind born of guilt. This is deeper, older, almost inherited. "Start from the beginning," you say, keeping your voice calm. He shakes his head slowly. "There's no beginning, only flashes. Fragments. I see her. EC blood, but it's not mine. Not here. Not anywhere real." You frown. The room feels smaller, heavier, as though the walls themselves are listening. "You're saying you killed someone that doesn't exist?" He nods once, and it's precise, deliberate, final. I remember her face. Mid-30s dark hair. Screaming. Falling. I held her. I felt it. But it never happened. At least. Not anywhere you can find. You glance down at the file in your hand. Nothing. No missing persons. No reports. No calls. It's like the world itself is conspiring to erase her. "Why are you telling me this?" you ask. He looks at you, and for the first time, you notice the cracks in his calm. "Because I think I'll understand. Because someone has to." Your instincts scream at you to step back, to call it impossible, to dismiss it as madness, but you can't. Not completely. There's a precision to his words, a logic buried under the chaos. That makes you wonder if there's something buried here that even he doesn't fully grasp. You ask about the locations he remembers. He names streets you've patrolled, cabins you've investigated years ago, forests you've driven past without ever thinking twice. Each name sends a shiver down your spine. None of them should exist in this context. None of them should matter. Yet, they do. And then he leans forward, voice dropping to a whisper that barely crosses the table. Detective, I think I'm seeing it from her eyes, the one who died. Your blood runs cold. You've interrogated liars, killers, victims, and saints. But nothing has ever whispered to you like this. A confession that isn't his. A story that feels like it belongs to someone else, or something else. You lean back in your chair, trying to steady your pulse. But it refuses. The rain outside hammers against the station roof like fists, and the fluorescent light flickers as if unsure it wants to stay on. You've been here before. Late nights, confessions, lies tangled with truths. But this feels different. This isn't just a case. It's a trip. Explain what you mean, you say, keeping your tone even though every fiber of you wants to bolt. He swallows, and you hear it catch in his throat. Flashes. I see her. The woman. I see her blood. I feel it on my hands. I hear her scream. I know I killed her, but she doesn't exist. Not anywhere real. I can't find her anywhere. You glance at the file again. Nothing. Empty streets, empty files, empty reports. And yet, the way he speaks makes you doubt the very world around you. Where, you ask? Where did this happen? He hesitates. A cabin in the woods. Old wallpaper. Pine floors. Shadows moving toward me. Her screaming. Her falling. And I was holding her. I felt her weight. I felt her life leave her. But it's not real. I think it belongs to someone else. You feel the hairs on your neck rise. A chill runs through the room. You've seen killers lie with perfect confidence. You've seen innocence tremble under imagined guilt. But you've never faced someone confessing to a death that never happened, yet feels as tangible as your own heartbeat. You ask the question you don't want to hear the answer to, and you remember it from her perspective? He nods, almost imperceptibly. I saw it happen to her. I felt it in her skin, her fear, her final breath, and now I can't stop remembering it. I can't stop feeling it. I came here because you need to know, because someone has to remember it, even if it's not me. You take a deep breath. You've dealt with the living, the dead, and the guilty. But this is different. This is memory bleeding through the wrong person. A confession that isn't his. A crime that never happened. And yet, somehow, it did. You realize, with a sinking feeling, that tonight isn't just about solving a case. Tonight, it's about surviving it, and understanding it before it consumes you. You drive through the winding roads outside Cold Creek, headlights slicing through the fog like knives. The storm has eased, but the forest seems to have absorbed the darkness, keeping it close, whispering through the swaying branches. Every mile you cover, the confession replays in your mind, looping like a nightmare you can't wake from. You pull off the main road onto a narrow, muddy trail that leads to the cabins Thomas described. The rain has left everything damp, earthy, smelling of pine and decay. You feel it before you see it. The same oppressive weight, the same unease. The woods here aren't unfamiliar, yet every step feels like you're trespassing into someone else's memory. You stop the car, leaving the engine running. Flashlight in hand, you step into the undergrowth. Mud squishes under your boots. The scent of wet pine needles fills your nostrils. Somewhere ahead, you swear you hear the faint echo of a scream, though the storm has long passed. You reach the clearing Thomas mentioned. The cabin is old, half hidden by overgrown ivy. Broken shutters hang crookedly, windows coated in grime. Nothing appears out of place. No blood, no sign of a struggle, nothing to indicate that a life ended here. And yet, your gut tells you it did, that somewhere between his words and this place, the line between memory and reality is blurred. You trace your fingers along the splintered wood of the doorframe. There's a faint streak of something dark soil, perhaps. You kneel and brush it lightly. Mud, yes, but darker than mud should be. You pause. There's a smell beneath it. Coppery. Blood. No. Your mind plays tricks. You tell yourself it's the rain, the forest, your imagination. But as you step back, your flashlight catches a mark on the wall inside a handprint. Not fresh, not recent, but perfectly imprinted. Someone was here, someone who wanted you to find it. You feel your pulse accelerate. This is no longer just Thomas's story. It has a footprint in the real world, and you realize, with Asiber, that the confession wasn't made to you in a vacuum. It's a map, a warning, and somewhere in these woods, the truth waits, and it's waiting for you. You can feel the forest watching you, branches scratching against the sky like skeletal fingers. Every step you take deeper into the cabin's shadow, the more the air presses down, heavy with the weight of secrets. The handprint you saw is burned into your mind, a silent accusation that someone, somewhere, remembers this place, or wants you to. Inside, the cabin is abandoned, but eerily intact. Old furniture covered in dust, a fireplace long cold, and the faint smell of pine sap and decay. You run your fingers over a table and find a small, folded piece of paper. Your heart pounds as you unfold it. A single sentence, scrawled in hurried handwriting. You shouldn't have come here. A chill runs through you. This isn't just a warning. It's a challenge. Someone is daring you to uncover what was buried, daring you to confront a truth that could unravel everything you thought you knew. You move to the fireplace. Beneath the ashes, something glints. A locket, tarnished with age. You pick it up and open it. A photograph of a woman, mid-30s dark hair, wearing a yellow sweater, stares back. Your breath catches. Thomas described her. This is her. The woman who shouldn't exist. Outside, the wind picks up, rattling the windows. You hear faint whispers, or maybe your imagination voices that seem to echo Thomas's confession. Screams, falling, blood, guilt. You grip the locket tighter. You can feel the weight of someone else's memory pressing against your own. Suddenly, a sound behind you. A floorboard creaking. You whirl around. Empty. But you know you're not alone. Someone, or something, has been following you, leaving breadcrumbs, guiding you, testing you. You realize the case is no longer just about Thomas. It's about the past, bleeding into the present, about memories that belong to no one and everyone at the same time. And if you don't uncover the truth, if you don't confront what's in these woods, you fear that you won't just lose the case, you'll lose yourself. The cabin feels alive now, though it's empty. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of the wind through broken shutters, feels deliberate, like the forest itself is watching, judging. You grip the locket tightly, tracing the woman's face with your thumb. She's real. She exists somewhere in memory or in reality, and it's slipping through your fingers like smoke. A sudden movement catches your eye, a shadow darting outside the window. You freeze. Your instincts scream at you to run, but curiosity pins you in place. The confession, the locket, the handprint. It's all connected. You know it. You have to see it through, no matter what the forest throws at you. You step outside into the muddy clearing, flashlight cutting through the darkness. The woods are silent, too silent, but then you see it. Faint footprints leading deeper into the trees. Not fresh, not old. Something in between. You follow them, the crunch of leaves underfoot loud in the still night. Each step brings a mounting sense of dread, like you're walking into someone else's memory, someone else's guilt, someone else's crime. Then you find the remnants of a campfire, ashes still warm. Around it, symbols scratched into the earth. Strange, deliberate. almost ritualistic. Your stomach tightens. These aren't random marks. Someone has been here recently. Someone has been waiting. You kneel, examining the symbols, feeling the weight of every decision that led you here. And then you notice something you can't explain. The scent of iron, faint and unmistakable. Blood, old or new, you can't tell. You stand abruptly, senses on edge, heart hammering. Somewhere beyond the trees, you hear it. A soft, almost inaudible whisper, your name. And then a second voice, Thomas's voice, though he isn't here. You're close. Don't stop. You have to remember. A chill runs through you. You realize the confession wasn't just a story. It's a map, a warning, a guide into a truth that has been buried in shadow for years. And now, it's waiting for you to find it. You wake to the smell of damp pine and rain-soaked soil still clinging to your clothes. Sleep eludes you, and the memory of the cabin, the handprint, and the locket presses against your skull like a vice. You keep telling yourself it's just a coincidence, that Thomas's confession and the woman in the photograph are two separate things. But deep down, you know better. You return to your office, the city lights cutting through the morning fog. Your desk is cluttered with files, half-drunk coffee, and the residue of too many sleepless nights. You spread the evidence out in front of you. Maps, photographs, handwritten notes, and the single locket from the cabin. The woman's face stares up at you, unblinking. Familiar. Almost too familiar. And then it hits you, a detail you had dismissed before, a street name faintly etched on the back of the photograph. You recognize it. You recognize it because you've driven past it countless times. Something about it unsettles you, but you can't place why. You dig through the archives, scrolling through decades of cold cases, missing persons, and unsolved murders. And there she is, the woman from the locket. Her case was filed years ago, quietly, almost as if someone wanted her to disappear. The description matches perfectly. Mid-30s, dark hair, yellow sweater. The file says she vanished without a trace. No leads, no witnesses. A chill runs down your spine. Everything Thomas confessed, the screams, the fall, the weight of her body in his arms, aligns with this disappearance. And suddenly, the impossible begins to feel possible. Someone has been forcing these memories into his mind. Someone is orchestrating this confession. Someone is pulling you toward the truth in a way that feels personal. Your reflection in the office window catches your attention. The city behind you is alive, indifferent, but your own eyes betray fear. You realize that this isn't just about solving a case anymore. It's about confronting something buried in the past, something that has been waiting, watching, and now wants you to remember. You return to the streets, retracing the steps that Thomas mentioned. Every alley, every side street, every cracked sidewalk seems to whisper secrets. The city feels different now, heavier, darker, as if it knows what you've uncovered. Each step reminds you that the past isn't buried. It's alive, waiting for you to confront it. You follow the street names etched into your memory, leading you toward the neighborhood where the woman was last seen. Buildings loom like silent witnesses. Windows stare back at you, some broken, some closed tight, all hiding stories you will never fully know. You stop in front of a small, abandoned brownstone. It's paint peeling, its door hanging slightly ajar. The air smells faintly of decay and old smoke. Inside, the floorboards groan under your weight. Dust rises with every step, swirling in the beam of your flashlight. A faint metallic scent lingers. Blood, or just the decay of forgotten years. You push it aside. You have to know. And then you see it. A small notebook, tucked beneath a loose floorboard. Its pages are yellowed, corners frayed, but the handwriting is unmistakable. Names, dates, and observations. Someone has been documenting her life, or her disappearance, meticulously. And at the bottom of the last page, a phrase scrawled in urgent, jagged letters. They remember. You must remember too. Your pulse quickens. You realize now that Thomas's confession wasn't random. The cabin wasn't random. The locket wasn't random. Someone is orchestrating this, leaving breadcrumbs through time and memory, forcing you to reconstruct a story that isn't yours, yet feels intimately tied to you. You leave the brownstone, notebook in hand, mind racing. Each revelation pulls you closer to understanding, but also closer to the danger that shadows the woman's disappearance. And somewhere, you feel it. The unseen presence that has guided Thomas's confession and now guides you. Watching, waiting, knowing. You understand, with an almost sickening clarity, that the past is not done with you, and that the deeper you go, the more you risk losing. Not just the case, but yourself. Night falls, and the city takes on a different character. Shadows stretch unnaturally across alleyways. The flicker of streetlights, creating brief pockets of clarity before plunging you back into darkness. You feel the weight of the notebook in your hand, its secrets pressing against your palm like a living thing. Every page is a whisper from the past, a breadcrumb left for you to follow, and you can't ignore it. You reach the edge of the neighborhood where the woman vanished. The streets are empty, eerily silent, as though the city itself is holding its breath. Each step echoes against brick walls, amplifying your own sense of unease. You replay Thomas's confession in your mind. The screams, the fall, the hollow weight of someone else's guilt. And now, with the notebook, those fragmented memories take on shape, guiding you toward a place you never thought you'd enter. Tenju, Seit, a narrow stairwell tucked between two buildings, barely visible in the dim light. The notebook had mentioned the hidden place where she whispered last. Your instincts scream that this is it. You descend, each step creaking under your weight, the darkness closing in. The smell of damp earth and rust hits you. Your flashlight catches faint marks on the wall's scratched symbols, the same style as the ones in the cabin. Someone has been here. Someone who wanted this hidden, wanted it secret, wanted you to find it. At the bottom, a small room, empty, except for a single chair facing the wall. On it rests a photograph, the same woman from the locket, smiling, alive. You kneel to examine it, and your stomach drops. Behind the chair, on the wall, words written in the same urgent hand as the notebook. She never left. You just forgot to see her. A shiver races down your spine. The past isn't past. The confession wasn't a confession, and the hunt for truth isn't just about solving a case anymore. It's about uncovering what reality tried to hide from you and confronting the shadows that have been shaping your every step. You realize now that the woods, the cabin, Thomas's memories, and your own investigation have been leading you to this moment. And whatever comes next, the truth is far darker than you ever imagined. The city is quiet now, but the silence carries weight. You clutch the notebook and the photograph tightly, walking the familiar streets with unfamiliar eyes. Every shadow seems to watch. Every whisper of wind feels like a message. You've traced the woman's story from Thomas's confession to the cabin, from the brownstone to this moment, but the pieces are still fragmented. Someone is pulling strings behind it all. You return to your office, spreading the evidence before you once more. The locket, the notebook, the photograph, the handprint in the cabin, the cryptic messages. They all form a pattern that teases clarity, but refuses to give it. You can feel the story brushing against the edges of your mind, just out of reach. Hours pass as you pore over the details, connecting dates, locations, and symbols. And then, a realization strikes. The woman's disappearance, Thomas's confession, the hidden messages. All of it is connected to one person. Or maybe one memory. A presence that isn't fully alive but hasn't fully passed either. You can't ignore it. You have to confront it. You step outside. The night is cold, mist rolling over the streets like a low-hanging cloud. You feel the pull toward the woods again. The place where it all began. The same trail, the same cabin, but now everything is different. You know that the truth waits there, tangled in shadows, ready to confront you. The deeper you walk into the forest, the more your senses sharpen. Every rustle of leaves, every broken branch, every distant animal call seems amplified, guiding you forward. You can hear your own heartbeat in the silence, echoing against the towering trees. And then, You see it, the faint glow of a light inside the cabin. Not a reflection, not a trick of your flashlight, but a real, deliberate light. Someone, or something, is inside, waiting. You pause at the edge of the clearing, inhaling the damp forest air. The confession, the locket, the photograph. Everything has led to this moment. The final pieces are here, waiting to fall into place, and you know that what happens next will change everything you thought you knew about this case, and maybe about yourself. The cabin looms before you, silent, yet alive with unseen energy. The light inside flickers, like a heartbeat, drawing you closer. You take a cautious step forward, every nerve on edge. This isn't just an investigation anymore, it's a reckoning. Every clue, every confession, every fragment of memory has led you to this moment. You push the door open slowly. The air inside is heavy, almost viscous, carrying the scent of wet earth and something metallic blood. It doesn't matter. Your focus is on the center of the room, where a single figure stands, partially shadowed. You recognize the silhouette immediately. Thomas, but he isn't moving. His hands are empty. His eyes vacant. "Detective," he whispers, voice trembling. "You shouldn't have come." You take a step closer. "I had to know the truth. All of it. Who she was, and why you confessed to something that never happened." He shakes his head slowly. "It's not me. It was never me. The memories, they don't belong to me. I just carry them. And now, you see them too." You glance around the cabin. Symbols etched into the walls, photographs scattered, remnants of his fragmented memories scattered like breadcrumbs. The locket lies open on the floor, the photograph of the woman staring at you with an almost pleading expression. You realize that the past isn't just haunting Thomas, it's haunting you. Then, where is she? You ask, voice barely audible. Thomas steps back, eyes distant. She's everywhere and nowhere. The forest, the streets, the city. She leaves. If you follow them, you'll find her. But beware, the closer you get, the more the memories will try to claim you. The chill runs down your spine. You understand now that solving this case isn't about uncovering a corpse or catching a killer. It's about navigating the labyrinth of memories, separating what is real from what isn't, and confronting the force that has been shaping this story from the shadows. You grip the locket tighter. You step forward, ready to follow the final threads wherever they lead. The forest breathes around you as you move deeper into the clearing. Each step crunches on fallen leaves, echoing in the cold night air. The cabin behind you is silent now, a vessel of memories and whispers, holding fragments of Thomas's mind and the woman's vanished life. You know the final confrontation is near. Ahead, a faint light flickers among the trees. It draws you in, relentless, almost magnetic. You approach slowly, heart hammering. Then you see her, the woman from the locket and the photograph, alive yet ethereal. Her presence feels both real and unreal. Her eyes meet yours, and for a moment, the world stops. The screams, the confessions, the handprints, the symbols, everything aligns in that gaze. She never left. Thomas's voice echoes in your mind. You just needed to see her. You step closer, the memories pressing against your mind. Flashes of the past, the forest, the cabin, and Thomas's confessions swirled together. You understand now. The crime never happened in the way it was told. It existed in memory, in fear, in guilt that someone else carried. And Thomas was the vessel, the channel, for something that had long been buried. The woman's presence is calming, yet haunting. She reaches out, and for the first time, you feel a connection that transcends the fear. The case, the confession, the forest, all of it wasn't about punishment. It was about acknowledgement, recognition of what was hidden, unseen, forgotten. You take a deep breath, letting the truth settle in. The memories recede, leaving clarity in their wake. The woman smiles faintly and turns, disappearing into the shadows of the forest. The forest exhales, releasing its tension, leaving the night quiet, almost reverent. You stand there, the notebook in your hand, the locket closed, knowing that some mysteries never truly vanish. They linger in memory, shaping lives, challenging perception, and demanding attention. And tonight, you survived them, saw the truth, and carried it forward. The case is closed, but the echoes remain. You realize that the world is not always as it seems. And sometimes, the line between guilt and memory, reality and imagination, is thinner than you ever imagined.